Episode 5, happy days, back on the Nöcker race car project. Today we're tackling some scribing, cutting, wheeling, welding, planishing, and just getting this beauty put together. So previously we were busy knocking out this boot skin. This is rendition 2 or 3 now. I started by shrinking the front and then stretching the middle and the rear to try to get into shape. That didn't work too well. Then I started shrinking the rear, stretching the front, didn't work too well. Now I've made the whole boot skin nice, flowing, fits the gauges, fits the buck. All was stretched, almost no shrink. I just tightened up the edges in the rear a little bit with the kick shrinker, but that's no major shrink on it. So how I did it, I started in the center, bringing that up, then stretch the front more and more, working my way from the middle, stretching more and more and more as I go into the sides to give it this sweep and almost a flat on the back with a, what you could call it, like cone shape. So now it's gonna flow into the windows and look magnificent. From there, once majority of the stretch was done, started bending it and had to induce this reverse coming around here. So I stretched this corner a little bit, stretch the middle, stretch the corner a little bit, bend it, stretch the middle, stretch the corner to give us this reverse that runs around into the center into almost nothing. So that's the boot done, dusted, out the way. Next, today, we're going to be jumping on this rear corner. Wham, bam. This guy here, clicko it on somewhere like that. This guy here, clicko it on somewhere like that. Then scribe, cut, file, debow, weld, done, another panel. If we get to it, maybe we're going to turn the edges, make a gauge there and show you how to shrink and stretch to get that back to its original shape. Let's get to it. So when it comes to scribing and cutting panels, we don't want to just go in one motion. Put one panel on top of the other, scribe it, cut it. We want to do it in steps. So we'll put one panel on top of the other, draw a koki line, cut it closer to that koki line, not on the line. That way we just leave about a 5mm lip. So we've got some overlap. From there we can press down, scribe, and cut exactly that line. The reason we only want such a small overlap is because when one panel's sitting on top of the other, it's not exactly where it would be naturally. So we just give it as little room as possible to move. That way, the less overlap it has, the less it's going to move when we scribe it. So as you can see here, I've already cut majority of the excess. There I'm left with my roughly 5mm along it. Now what we're going to do, clean that off, put the panel on top, scribe it for the last time, cut it, file it, deburr it, get to welding. So when scribing, we want to make sure we're holding our scriber in the corner, not at a 45, not at a 20, not at an 80 degree. We want to hold it in the corner so that it's repetitive and consistent. We can go back each time. If the panel moves a little bit, stop, clamp it again, go back to exactly where we were scribing, finish that scribed line. So we know when we're cutting, whoopsie, this is where we're cutting. No if, but, maybe. That's the line, no questions asked. I also like to go and I just do lengthways a couple scribed lines across the two so that I know, hey, when it comes to lining the panels again, I don't shimmy one 1/2mm forwards or 2mm back, or it goes here on the line with the lines lining up. That's it. And then I know when I weld it, planishing is going to be easy because there's no moving the metal or stretching and shrinking more than I have to get it back to where it should be. I like to do this final cut on the scribe line with shears just because you can cut extremely slowly and accurately so that we don't have to fill gaps or go and file too much again afterwards. So when there's only a little bit of what would you call it, overlay that we have to cut off, this 5mm, then the panel doesn't bend too much and we don't have kinks every time from cutting with the shears. I'm also using shears that are designed to cut radiuses to the left. I'm using them upside down because I find that cuts very well straight, or like I'm doing now to the right almost. So I'm forcing it, this section under it. It's not very comfortable, but it gives me a great result. So we can see now with this one just loose on it, if we just line up our scribed lines, there we go. The fit up is pretty damn good. Not as good as I'd like it to be, but we can also see the panels flowing. If it's not flowing like this, stop, don't weld it, get your panels flowing. If that means you have to restart and make a new panel, do that, but ensure they are flowing decently before you weld them. Otherwise, you're just going to take much longer than it needs to be. And now, where every weld starts, pulling these two panels apart, cleaning them with acetone, making some rods, buzzing it together. Some good old acetone, a brand new lappy or rag, don't get an old one, and then clean it. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. And then once you're done cleaning it and you think it's clean enough, just stick some more acetone on that lappy and give it one last wipe down just for good luck, just so that that weld can be as good as you can make it. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. That is clamped in place. Let's go chop some rods and get to welding. Give these filler rods one final clean before put them aside to weld. Acetone lappy, rotate at 90 degrees. There we go, the regular spiel. Just clean, clean, clean. Aluminium is a fussy, fussy bugger. So all we're doing now is just chucking on a couple tacks, 3, 4, 5, 6, however many to hold it in its shape and form. Then we're going to take it to the table and final weld it there. So if you're wondering what's up with my funny welding position, I'm just trying to press down on the one panel to hold it in shape while tack. So it might not look like these panels are flowing at all now because it's pulled a little bit and caused an overlay when shrinking. So all I'm going to do now is grind the tacks down, put it through the wheel, and we'll see, hey, this fit up is great and they're on the same plane. So this is what I'm looking for. Afterwards, I've tacked it. All my lines are still in line with each other. If you rub your hand over the panel, it's flowing. You can feel, hey, that's not going to take too much hammer and dolly work at all. Besides here, but when I stretch it out, it's going to be mint. So all I'm going to do now is pull this panel off. Then I'm going to grind the back side of these tacks 100% flush with the base material. And the top side, I'm just going to break them down and make each one similar to the same amount of material. Why I'm going to do that and not grind them flush also is because I don't want to stretch the base material yet. I only want to stretch the tacks. So this way I can leave them at wheels slightly further apart on the English wheel than the base material's thickness. So when I go, it's not going to stretch the base material at all, but the tack that's slightly thicker, it's going to stretch this tack, then not stretch the base material. Then stretch the tack, not the base material. Tack, not the base material. And so on to get these all aligned and flowing again. There we go. We can see, hey, base material is not going to stretch. The two anvils aren't touching. So now we go and we just wheel our tacks. Doesn't matter what angle. Wham, bam, wham, bam. All we're doing is stretching those tacks out slightly. There we go. We don't have to worry about touching the base material because we're not actually touching it. Up the pressure a little bit. Stretch those tacks some more. Now you'll see these panels will slowly line up better and better and better as we stretch each tack. Should line up better and better and better. Wham, bam. All we're going to do now is repeat the same shenanigans. So I've got a clamp here just holding in place. This tack cracked, so we're just going to melt that one again, put another tack in between each one. Wham, bam, bam. Grind the back sides down, wheel it one more time. See, maybe we chuck another tack in here or there. If not, final pass it. Added a couple more tacks. Now we just repeat the process. Grind the back, grind the front a little bit, wheel it, tack it again, then final weld. Cool, all I'm gonna do now is just buzz the top off all the tacks off of the file, just because I want a as consistent, uniform material thickness. So hopefully this way, or not hopefully, it's going to leave me with as close to 1.5 mil throughout the whole area I'm going to be welding. That way when I'm welding, I don't have to back off the pedal and give more heat, less heat, more heat, less heat. It's going to be somewhat consistent as it can be. So we've got our panels all tacked up, wham, bam, bam, bam. Oh, we've got a little bit of a low here. So before I even go and weld it, I'm just going to go on the wheel, up the pressure a little bit, bring that low just so it's flowing almost perfect. Then we're going to weld it, planish a weld. This is just going to save me a little bit of time. So we can see there, the two panels flow pretty good into each other. Far from perfect, still miles of work. But that's good enough to weld now. So let's go buzz it with a weld. And now let's get a little bit controversial. So I agree with you. Don't worry, I agree. Yes, I like to induce consistent heat and cooling. So I'll start on one end, weld from there all the way through most of the time. But in this case where I've got a whole bunch of shrink on the Eckhold here and here, I've noticed that if you get the panel real hot and start on one end, weld all the way through, it almost leaves you with a high spot. It's like those shrinks open up. I don't know if it's because the panels are kneeling, is it in my head, but that's what I do. It saves me time. On a stump, if you tuck shrink or if you're using a thumbnail dies and shrinking, don't worry about it. But with a kick shrink or the Eckhold, I don't want to induce that much heat. So I just go little patch, little patch, little patch, little patch. That's how I do it. Like it or hate it, but watch me do it. So I'm pretty happy with the penetration we got. It's consistent, it's good all the way through for the most of it. A couple of little monkey butts that I'm gonna go over now and just buzzing, zap, 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 zap. Done, ground it away, planish it, thank you. We can see there we're a little short in penetration. Yeah, we got a little bit of a monkey butt going on, but it's no biggie. That's why we got a welder and a hammer and a dolly, and gonna have a straight panel soon enough. So a lot of people have been asking, why do I use soap when I'm filing? It just works as a bit of a lubricant. You file a hell of a lot faster, easier, and your files last longer. They don't dull as easy or as quick. And I love these half round files, are extremely hard to find. So I try to take care of it, and just when it dulls and I have to find a new one, I'm gonna cry. What I'm doing now is, before I even go hammer and dolly work to planish it, just going to stick it through the wheel in very low pressure, run all the way through a little bit, bring up a little bit of highs, knock down the lows a little bit, then go to hammer and dolly. What I mean by knock down the highs is, if there's a little bit of a high, I'm just going to pull up on the panel to try and move it. So I've wheeled through the weld now for the most part, brought up a little bit of a low. Now I've got a high here for who knows why. Metal shrinks, metal stretches, metal bends, and it gave us a high. That's not a problem. I'm gonna take a sandbag, stick it behind, just with a little bit of force, a little bit of pressure, then take my slapper and just try whack that low down and back into flow. So the beauty of putting a sandbag behind it is it doesn't leave us with highs and lows and dents and scratches all over the place. It gives it that rigidity, allows us to still have an amazing smooth finish, but we can still move the metal around. So one of the reasons you want to keep all your tools, faces and wheels and everything polished like that is because when you're working a panel now, as we filed that surface before, so it was rough, it wasn't reflective, you couldn't see nice highs and lows. But the more we hit this and work here with a polished surface, the more it's going to polish it and give us a better result. So we can visually see, hey, there's highs and lows, and the light speaks to you. You can see exactly what's going on for the most part. Whereas if these faces were dulled, the more we'd slap, the more we would dull this surface also. Between tacking, wheeling, welding, planishing, we've got a low that's appeared here in this Koki mark. So I can bring it up with a hammer and dolly, tap, 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 but it's way faster just to go to the wheel. So I'm gonna go to the wheel, a little bit medium pressure, wheel it up, and coming back and do the fine tuning with the hammer and dolly. So if you see me staggering short, short, long, long, short, 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 long, it's because I'm not trying to cause a high. I'm trying to bring up that low, but blend it into the surrounding area also. And that's why you'll see me going long, 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 short, 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 long. And it's working, nearly there. 1 or 2 more passes. And we will be smiling like the panel. So when you see me looking all funny and rubbing the panels, squeak, squeak, wondering, what is this guy doing? All I'm trying to do is find out what I'm feeling. I'm feeling a high and a low, but is it a low here and a high there? Or is this high and this is low? Or is it high, low, high? Or is it low, high, low? You gotta try and work it out. So just nice dry hands, and then you rub it back and forth, trying to feel what's going on. Also, if you use like a microfiber cloth or some wool gloves, you can feel even more. This isn't going to get you feeling, isn't getting you a metal finished body, but what it's doing is it's getting you closer to that end result. Then if you want to metal finish it, you have to go with some marking glue and a file and really take your time and fine tune it. But even before you get to the marking glue, I like to go with my hands and eye and just get it as close as possible beforehand. Still left with a little bit of a high in the middle here. I left this side a little bit low. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the high down with off dolly. So I'm going to put my dolly underneath here where my low is, and then I'm going to hit on top here with the hammer where my high is. What that's going to do is bring where I hit down and where my dolly is up. That way, hopefully, we get it flowing a wee bit better. We've also got a lot of overlap between our bottom panel and this panel, so I'm not too worried about the bottom section. I always leave them for last. Then when I weld them, from there, I'll work this whole section again. So we're just trying to get as close as possible for now. We rather want to do 3 or 4 passes instead of one hard pass. We're not trying to make dents. We're trying to move the metal, just persuade it. Now I'm going to be stretching it a little bit. You're going to hear it's more of a ping than a hollow sound. That's because I'm on dolly. I've got the dolly underneath, material on top, and I'm actually hitting onto the dolly to stretch the material. I'm going to be doing that a little bit here, stretching that to open up, stretching this low here. Then we're going to call it a done day. We can see there by the light, hopefully, that the weld's planished majority of the way out. Wham, bam. So that's where we're going to leave it on this weld for now. Once the whole car is welded together, all the welds get gone through again and then just finalized. But for now, happy days. Boom. Cleat code, planished, in place. Planished 90%. I got a couple lows here towards the back and in the front, but that's fine. Once everything's welded together, riveted, we go through it, we smash them out, quick sticks. But for now, let's hop on the edge, turn that, and onto the next step. Let's get going. So we've got 1 clicker in the front holding the panel, 2 in the back. And if we have a look, it's still fitting the wood pretty damn accurately. It's almost sitting completely snug on the buck. It's a little bit high and a little bit low in places, but the buck's also not perfect. The panel is not finished to perfection yet. So yeah, this is just where it's at for now. Okie dokie, time to scribe this edge and bend it over. So what we're going to do to scribe, because this is a round bar and it's not a nice square edge we can just press it up into, all I'm going to do is just hold it at whatever you want to call that, a 30-degree angle, so that the tip of the scribe is in line with the edge of this round bar. Then I'm going to try to hold it as consistent as possible and just run the whole way across. You can see I'm not holding it very consistent, but I'm going to hold more consistent here, take my time, and then afterwards it's going to have a little bit of a wiggle. So we're going to be there chiseling the edges, moving it back and forth. Not too much, but definitely a little bit. Lekker, sweet. Once we have our line scribed in of where we want to turn the edge. So all we're going to do now is when we're bead rolling, we don't want to be running left and right on and off the line. So I'm just going to take some lining tape and place it exactly where we want to go, so that when we're bead rolling, we can easily see, hey, are we on the line? Are we off the line? What's going on here? Because if you can't see easily, then yeah, you are going to have to move this edge even more than you're already going to have to. And now we've put a little bit of backup on in case the tape moves while we're busy bead rolling it. So what I like to do is just go and run a fine black line right next to the fine line tape. That way, sometimes it moves. If it moves, you know, hey, I'm gonna stop now, or okay, let me just start following that black line. All I've done now is just put a Koki line to test on, because this front die is gonna leave a mark we can turn an edge on, and the back die is gonna leave a mark we can turn the edge on. It's almost gonna give us a double joggle with how we're doing it. So all I'm doing is testing to see, hey, is the furthest most line on the line I want, so that when I turn it, I can easily clean up the edge that's on the inside. Just, this is, if I scrap, not a problem. The panel, we want to keep it sweet. We can see here I've got two lines that are about 1-2 mils apart. We've got this one running here, this one running in the back. So that's all I wanted to see is, hey, this back line, if I put my die on my line, is it going to leave the other one in front? Hope that makes sense. This is what we want, because then we can clean out with the hammer and dolly. Quick sticks, easy work. Let's get to it. Nice. There we go. We have ran, you could call it a joggle almost, exactly where we want. Now we're just going to go with the edge turning tools. Turn the edge, shrink it to fit the gauges, and that's a panel that's looking like a panel. Okay, so now we have our edge. The joggle ran in, so we know exactly where we want to tip it. All we do now is we take our edge turning tools, slide it on, tip the edge. That's it. Done. Quick sticks. So we can see I've made all different kinds of edge turning tools with different thicknesses, different depths. Just job. Made one, cut it up for something else, and that's what I'm left with. One day I'll make some nice new ones again, but for now they still work great. Cool. So even though we have a defined edge we're turning on, you still want to work incrementally in small little sections. Tip it a little bit, go right next to it, tip it some more, tip it, go right next to it, tip it some more. And we just do a couple passes. It's like planishing a weld. Yeah, you can hit it once and stretch it the right amount, but to do that is not a viable option. It's not repeatable. You can have one spot that's perfectly planished and one spot that's high, one spot that's low. Whereas now, with the consistency of little bit, we can see where we're going and if we're making mistakes or not. There we go. So because we're working in such small increments, we've got quite a neat edge that's already been turned. Still going to neaten it up a lot with the hammer and dolly, but we can see as it comes around here, always, if you end it on a bend, it pulls a whole bend around. So that's a bit of a mare and a mission to fix because we've got to stretch it up now, bend it and so forth, but it's just part of the game. So yeah, now we go with hammer and dolly, clean it up, and then shrink and stretch it to the gauges. Happy days, looking good. It's just this edge that's curled around and played games with us that we must fix now, and then it's sweet. Got some chisels that I've shaped to the radius I'm looking for. Gave them a little bit of a polish. Just go with the hammer and chisel it out back to the shape we want. So we can see there what line we're going to follow is that edge line inside. Hopefully you can see that nice. All I'm going to do now is take hammer, dolly, and just sharpen up the edge and make it nice and flat. So we've got that double step from the bead roller. All I'm going to do is just soft blows, planish that out, and get the whole thing looking nice and consistent. that is this edge turned, shoops, over, neatened up for the most part, but we haven't made gauges yet and we haven't got it to fit the gauges. So this back will come up a little bit once we stretch this corner. So that's why it doesn't look like it's sitting 100% or flowing correctly yet, because it's not. So that's where we are leaving it off. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, comment, subscribe. We'll be introducing a pretty cool new project in the next month and a half. So that's exciting. Yeah, anything you want to see, please leave it in the comments. Any video ideas, leave it in the comments, send it in the DM. Let us know what you want to do and how we can grow this channel. So Jean and I have been faffing around trying to show the shape of the car, but it won't come through on the lens. So I'm going to try to show you with my hand how it kicks out and then comes back in on what, like, such a unique shape and style that I've never seen it on the car before. So if I get a straight edge, you can see hopefully more of how much exactly it kicks out and different depths and different places. Just so you can see the shape. It's unbelievable. Look at that. Oh my, oh my. Cameras just don't do it justice. Maybe from this angle you can see a little bit better of the shape, but my, oh my, oh my, look at that. The further I get along with this car, the further I'm definitely building myself one in the future. In the hopefully near future. I wasn't the biggest fan. I said that's a beautiful car when I saw photos of it, but looking at it in person, it's probably one of the most beautiful cars out there, without a doubt. Looking at the flow, oh my goodness. I can't wait to finish these reverses and have window openings so you can actually see the shape, because it's unreal. It's so hard to tell through photos, but it's beautiful. Beauty, beauty, beauty. Yes, it looks amazing, unreal. Hopefully you're able to see this car somewhere, someday in person, or even just a similar shaped car, because it's unreal. It's gorgeous. It's stunning.